Before you talk, shall I read everyone this letter?
Go on then. Go for it.
Okay. Have we got any rousing music to play in the background, Keith? Something like, I don't know, It Wasn't Me by Shaggy. That would probably work, wouldn't it? Getting jiggy on the bathroom floor. No? Okay, sorry. No one wants to see that. Dear colleague, tonight we have the chance to end weeks of media speculation and take this country forward immediately as one united party. Tonight is the moment to draw a line under the issues our opponents want us to talk about and to focus instead on what really matters, the needs of the voters who sent us to Westminster. I am asking for your support tonight because I know how much we can achieve together. Together, we won the biggest mandate for the Conservative Party in 40 years. As we promised, we resolved the long Brexit crisis. Don't do commentary, just read the letter. As we promised, we resolved the long Brexit crisis and created a new and friendly relationship with... I can't do it. I'm sorry. I'm going to have to do some comment. What? David Frost was in a Belfast newspaper this weekend explaining why the Northern Ireland Protocol wasn't working because the European Union actually implemented what had been negotiated, and he never expected them to do that. Meanwhile, the threat to break international law and abandon the obligations of a treaty that Boris Johnson signed does not, to me, speak of a new and friendly relationship with the European Union. But what do I know? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. When the UK was hit by the worst global pandemic for a century, we showed the drive and grip to deliver the first approved vaccine anywhere in the world, followed by the fastest vaccine rollout in Europe. I'm going to have to do it again now, aren't I? So these countries are currently more vaccinated than we are. A higher share of people in these countries with a complete initial protocol. United Arab Emirates, Portugal, Cuba, Chile, Singapore, China, Canada, Vietnam, Brazil, Italy, Japan, Thailand, France, and Germany. You've heard of Germany, right? It was their car industry that was going to come in and make sure that we still had access to the single market after voting for the Brexit that Boris Johnson's also boasting about in this letter. And of course, the venture capitalist to whom he gave a blank chequebook in order to buy those vaccines, her husband has today resigned as Boris Johnson's anti-corruption czar on the perfectly reasonable grounds that he thinks Boris Johnson is actually corrupt. It was because we took tough but responsible decisions during the pandemic. Pause. He missed the first 5 Cobra meetings, unpause, that we were able to reopen our economy speedily, with the result that we now have the lowest unemployment since 1974. Pause. For the first time in recorded history, there are now more vacancies in our job market than there are unemployed people. That is an economic disaster whichever way you cut it, except, of course, this way. And we took the decision to become the first European country to help the Ukrainians to protect themselves against Russian aggression. And I am proud of the leadership the UK has shown. A man described by the Canadian government as being a member of Vladimir Putin's inner circle has been sanctioned. That man celebrated his 60th birthday on the day after the last general election result, and Boris Johnson went there with his wife. That man's son sits in the House of Lords, despite advice from the security services that he shouldn't. Boris Johnson has refused a request by the House of Commons to publish that advice. That's how he protects us all against Russian aggression. From tackling social care to striking an economic and migration partnership with Rwanda. We have shown time and time again that we can be trusted to deliver bold and innovative solutions to difficult and long-standing problems. The Rwanda scheme, as I have explained to you on several occasions, is designed to allow them to paint targets upon the back of lawyers. If there's any problem with the attempt to deport genuine asylum seekers to Rwanda, it will be because it's illegal, not because asylum seekers have achieved legal representation. I say all this not because I want to take satisfaction in past achievements, well, that would be a struggle, mate, but because now is the time to concentrate every ounce of that same energy and drive on the priorities of the British people. You'll remember that the U-turn on the windfall tax was undertaken only after months of Labour campaigning, that they've taken £20 a week out of the pockets of the poorest people in this country as we came out of the lockdown, and that the cost of living crisis is something that the government almost refused to acknowledge, never mind address, for months and months and months. As the whole world struggles with the economic impact of Putin's aggression, we have already taken decisive action, just as we took decisive action during COVID, to shield the public from the energy price spike. We are helping 8 million of the most vulnerable households with £1,200 of support, amid many other measures. We can do this because we have the fiscal firepower power to help because of the tough and contested decisions we took during COVID. He won't be giving you any examples of those. We are finding the cash because we are compassionate Conservatives and because it is the right thing to do. But we also know that you cannot just spend your way out of inflation that he was denying as long ago as November of last year. And you cannot tax your way into growth. They have introduced more tax rises than I think any government in living memory. Over the next few weeks, Rishi and I will be setting out all the ways in which we will be using Conservative principles to take advantage of our new freedoms. That, of course, is the first Chancellor of the Exchequer and the first Prime Minister ever to have been found to have committed crimes while in office. To take advantage of our new freedoms. What new freedoms? List them. Can't. Cut costs and drive growth. Cut costs. We've introduced economic sanctions on our own country, but he is somehow going to find ways to cut costs and drive growth. I can't read anymore. I'm sorry. I'll come to Amrit. Should I finish it? Am I being unprofessional? This is taking a psychic toll on me. We will, of course, devote all our energy to reducing the biggest single household outgoing of all, the tax bill. It must come down, and it will, because that is the best way to deliver the growth we need. Can't do it.